Hi, and welcome to my third video. I appreciate y'all that are watching thus far. I'm going to discuss today's agenda. So, first, we'll talk about the top 10 states with the most DUI arrests. This is a study from 2022. We are going to discuss a county in Georgia. Their sheriff's office has been funded money to assist with the DUI problem there. I think that, and I hope that this becomes a trend, especially in those 10 states. Okay. We're going to discuss a couple of public servants that's in the news from this year regarding DUI arrest. I think it's always interesting to see like our lawmakers and councilmen that are being arrested for this. It's so unethical when you really think about it, and for you to be a leader of the community is even more wrong. So we'll be discussing that as well. And lastly, I'm an avid Reddit reader, and I was on Reddit last night, and they were discussing a topic that I don't think is really discussed that much, and that is alcohol withdrawal. So something in my spirit is telling me to discuss it on this video. So that's what I'm going to do. And I think we see and talk about drug related withdrawal and how deadly it is. Um, so I want to discuss alcohol withdrawal, which is just as deadly. So I appreciate y'all tuning in, and I hope that y'all stay for the duration of the video. So let's start it. Okay, so this is a Newsweek article that was published June 17th of this year, 2024. This is a list of the top 10 states with DUI arrests from January to December of 2022. This list is per capita. So it's dealing with the average per person in regards to the DUI arrest. I will also add, like it says in the chart, the total DUIs for the state. So this information is based off of FBI's voluntary reporting program from state and local law enforcement that are actually participating in this program. So as you see, top ranked number one is Alaska with 3,227 DUIs. That's 726.13 per 100,000 people. Now, I've never been to Alaska. I don't know anyone that lives in Alaska, so this is going to be based off of my opinion. It is home to a lot of Alaskan natives and tribal communities. And in my opinion, I'll say again that natives have been systematically discriminated against for decades on decades. And there seems to be a predisposition for alcoholism, and it has more to do with their socioeconomic status. And I definitely feel like it's, the same sense with the Black community here in other states. Um, Systematic oppression, discrimination, all of those come from generational trauma, and it can really affect you. Now, I did find a statement that I do want to share with you today. It is from the Royal Life Detox website in Prescott, Arizona. And the title of this is Illicit Drug Use and Alcoholism Epidemic, because that's what it is. Alaska isn't just isolated from the rest of the United States. The Alaskan population is mostly isolated from each other. Alaska only has a couple of centralized areas that are home to a majority of the Alaskan population, like Anchorage, Fairbanks, and Juneau. Excuse me if I'm pronouncing this incorrectly. The rest of Alaska is extremely rural, making access to anything, let alone healthcare or addiction treatment. Alaska has many rural communities, which means that medical help can only be reached through an airplane ride or snowmobile when the weather allows for it. Because medical care is scarcely available, treatment for alcohol and substance use disorder is often not an option. So, illicit drug use and alcoholism is a massive problem in Alaska. Let's go down to that final paragraph. It says Alaska is home to many Alaskan natives and tribal communities. Within these tribal communities, alcohol and substance use disorder is staggeringly high. Many Native Alaskans avoid addiction treatment because of the lack of integrating tribal customs and values into treatment. So going back to the list, for number two, we have South Dakota. That's 5,964 total DUIs. That is 718.53 per 100,000 people. At number three, we have Pennsylvania at 30,134 total DUIs. That's 576.28 per 100,000. Number four, we have North Dakota with 4,451 total DUIs. That's 571.18 per capita. Um, with North Dakota, it does state that fatal crashes in the state have decreased by 15% between 2017 to 2022, according to a Newsweek source, Vision Zero. Number 5, we have Wyoming. That's 2,215 total DUIs. That's 487.96. Number 6, we have California. 98,084 total DUIs. This is 1 year. 479.61 per 100,000. Okay. Now, this is the most populous U.S. state. Of course, you see it holds the most DUI arrests. And it's said to be the most dangerous due to the heavy traffic and literally traffic all hours of the day, all hours of the night. I went to LA probably 2016, 2017, and I was so shocked when we were out until 1, 2 a.m. in the morning and we were on the way back to our hotel and there was still traffic on the highway. On the highway. We weren't on the roads. We weren't the local roads. No. We were on the highway. It was standstill at 2 a.m. in the morning. And I was shocked. I was so shocked. But this is possibly the reason as to why it has so many DUIs. I mean, there's so many people out there and it's crunched up and you have to pay attention out there. You have to be able to be alert and see what's going on around you. That's just to state that you just don't want to be, incoherent while you're trying to drive. And mind you, Texas and Florida are the second and third most populous states, and they don't even rank top 10. So Florida, I'm a little surprised about Florida, and don't come for me for people that, live in Florida. I have family in Florida. It's my second home. But I must say, I was surprised to not see Florida on this list. So let's keep going. We have number 7, New York. New York is New York. That's 21,583 total DUIs. That's 470.4. We have Mississippi at number 8, 7,125. That's 397.65 per 100,000 people. Number 9, we have Idaho. That's 7,594. That's 391.74 per 100,000 people. And at number 10, Arizona with 17,443 total DUIs. That is 381.55, 100,000 people. Let me know what surprised you with this list. Like I said, Florida not being on here did surprise me. You have a lot of cold states here. That's also very interesting to me as well. I always think that the warmer states, like Florida, like Texas, of course, California, Arizona, Nevada, like those would be like the main states. So let me know what surprised you. So on to our next topic. This article is from the Times Herald. The CCSO, which is the Coweta County Sheriff's Office, was awarded $150K to combat DUIs and aggressive driving. Now, let me correct myself because this is one of 26 law enforcement agencies in Georgia to receive a highway enforcement aggressive traffic grant from the Governor's Office of Highway Safety for the federal 2025 fiscal year. So this is not the only county that received this. DeKalb, Hall, Floyd, Forsyth, and Snellville, they also received these grants. So I know in the beginning of the video I did state that it was one, but it's actually more. The grant is used to develop and implement strategies to reduce crashes caused by aggressive and dangerous driving. The grant funds specialize in traffic enforcement units in counties throughout the state, like the HEAT program. It's to assist Georgia jurisdictions with the highest rates of traffic crashes, injuries, and fatalities. The grants are awarded based on impaired driving and speeding data. I think that every state should start looking into implementing something like this. It's very difficult to deal with impaired people, especially when they think that they're not drunk. I know I was very difficult to deal with when I was drinking. And we do need things like these type of programs because It's happening so much. It's happening so much. And the people that are able to actually deal with DUIs and drinking and driving in a specialized manner, it's needed. It's really needed. So I'm definitely going to be researching to see if other states besides Georgia actually has things like this. I think that it's really cool. It's definitely worth the funding as long as the funding is, of course, getting utilized for this issue. All right, let's keep it pushing. Now we have State Representative Devin Seabaugh. He's a lawmaker. He was elected to the Georgia House of Representatives in a special election in July of 2021. He serves District 34. Now, this man was arrested for drinking under the influence. This story is from August. He hit a bicyclist who was traveling in the bicycle lane. I repeat, the bicycle lane. Hey, I wasn't there, okay? So, he was taken in by the troopers from the Nighthawks North DUI Task Force, which is another program in Georgia, to combat DUI. He did state that when he was turning right onto Memorial Drive, there was not proper signage to let him know it was converted into a bike lane. And okay, I wasn't there, so that could be a possibility. But when you're driving, you can't just look for signs and that's it. You have to make sure that there's no pedestrians in your way, especially if you're turning right. You have to be aware of your surroundings. And that's just what it seems like. It's a classic case of like, okay, you went out drinking, your vision is a little impaired, your thought process is a little impaired, and you just didn't catch what you didn't catch the person and you hit them. Like that's just to me that's what it is to me. But like I said, I wasn't there. So on to the final news story. Lance Green, he won the Florida Public Safety Councilman, won the primary race, secured his District 4 seat on the Port Orange City Council in August this year. He's actually noted for saying that his main priority was public safety. Mind you, his charges are DUI with damage to persons or property and obstructing an officer without violence. So it's funny, the same people that are supposed to be taking care of the community is literally out here possibly endangering it. As I'm about to talk about this topic, I think I'm going to do a whole video about alcohol withdrawal and just the symptoms, but I do want to quickly state, so alcohol withdrawal can occur when alcohol use has been heavy and prolonged and is then stopped or greatly reduced. It can occur within several hours to 4 to 5 days later. Signs and symptoms include sweating, rapid heartbeat, hand tremors, problems sleeping, nausea and vomiting, hallucinations, restlessness, agitation, anxiety, occasional seizures, cold sweats. It's it Symptoms can be severe enough to impair your ability to function at work or in social situations or just function, period. I've been through some withdrawals in my life, and mm, the best way I can describe an alcoholic withdrawal is like the flu, but worse. It's extremely scary. And when I finally went through my final withdrawal, I told myself I would never, ever, ever put myself, my body, my spirit through that again. It's the scariest thing. And, you know, you just you don't hear people talk about it. And when you think about how many people drink, we don't know how much they drink behind closed doors. No one knew how much I drink behind closed doors, but I can only imagine people that are going through this by themselves like I did behind closed doors. It feels like you're dying. And I never knew this existed until I physically had it myself, until I told my therapist about it, until I, started reading like what happens when you stop trying to drink. I did not know it existed. And it's just it's the craziest thing. That's all I can think to say. And I'm definitely going to follow this video up with a more um, in detail video in regards to this. When I decided that I was done drinking, I promise you, I tried everything. I got a therapist that was able to break it down to me scientifically about what alcohol was doing to my body, and it really put everything into perspective. So, if I can put a video out that may help someone to put it in perspective because I'm breaking down it scientifically, then so be it. Because when you are trying to stop, you need to have as many avenues as you need, because I don't want anyone to have to continuously go through a withdrawal. We need to help people stop. So if you have came this far, I just want to say I appreciate it so much. I hope that you gain some knowledge. I hope that you comment, let me know what you think, and I'm just so grateful. Thank you.